Welcome to Phillipskop. The world is in lockdown because of coronavirus, and it's no different here in South Africa. At Phillipskop we're fortunate in that although, like everybody else, we are confined to our home includes a mountainside full of Fynbos. So I thought this would be an opportunity to go for a walk, take the camera with me and show you some of the plants that we've got flowering at the moment in the Fynbos and what's so special about them, and give you an opportunity to experience it even if you can't actually at the moment get out yourself. This is one of our ericas that flower at this time of year and actually flower quite a lot through the year, although the actual flowers have more or less gone over here. It's often known as black tip or dark tip heath. So what you see here is actually the sepals and the bracts which produce the pink colour. This dark bit in the middle is actually the corolla, the flower itself, which has faded slightly. There will be some which will still be, there's a fresh one there in the middle, and some still to come out. So it keeps its colour even though most of the flowers have faded, because there's still some flowers which are just right for being pollinated. So it continues to attract the bees, and therefore it looks colourful for a long time, which is great. Here we've got Disparago ericoides. Disparago is a member of a daisy family and has these small little heads of flowers. So each one of these is actually a cluster of lots of other little heads, and each head contains a flower with a ray and a flower without a ray. Very hard to see, but each one of that is a little flower head, and one has a little petal on it, and the one next door to it does not have a petal on it. Don't get many succulents in the Fynbos, but here's one we do get at Phillipskop. This is called Erepsia anceps, and member of the Azoaceae, and like other members of the Azoaceae it has these very fine petals around the outside, and then the mixture of staminodes and stamens in the middle, the yellow centre. You can see the leaves are quite succulent, triangular in shape, and Erepsia are quite distinctive in that they usually have these quite hooked tips to the end of the leaf. So you can see that there, showing that it's probably belongs to the genus Erepsia if it's got those hooked tips. Fynbos is just one of the vegetation types found within the Cape Floral Kingdom, or Cape Floristic region as it's otherwise known. The Cape Flora extends from an area from about Port Elizabeth in the east, west through to Cape Town, and then north to just north of the Cederberg around Van Rensdorp. Within that 90,000 square kilometres, size of Portugal or Indiana in the States, are over 9,000 species of plant. So let's put that in some sort of context. British Isles, 300,000 square kilometres, only 1,500 species of plant. So an area a third of the size of British Isles has 6 times the number of species. Even on a South African context, the whole of South Africa is about 1.2 million square kilometres. So the Cape Flora is less than 10% of that area, and yet South Africa has only about just over 20,000 species of plant. That's still a lot of species, but of those 20,000, almost half of them are found in the Cape Flora alone. Here's a member of a protea family called Mimetes cucullatus. And Mimetes are often known as pagoda proteas because they arrange their flowers in this sort of columnar head, which I guess is a bit reminiscent of a Chinese pagoda. The flowers themselves are these bits in the middle. The fluffy bits are the ends of the perianth segments. You can see there's quite a few clustered together. They're surrounded by this bract, this bright red bract at the tip, and that's the bit that actually attracts the pollinators, which in this case are usually sunbirds. They love the red colour and just right for poking their bill in to get out the nectar. Mimetes cucullatus. Here we have Erica discolor. This is one of the long-tubed ericas, perfect for being pollinated by sunbirds. You can see the shape of the tube of the corolla is about the same shape as the sunbirds. Reddish colour is very popular with birds, very attractive to birds, so that's good. Discolor means alternating colours or contrasting colours. So as you can see here, it's got a red tube and then a white mouth to the tube, and hence the name discolor. Here we have Phylica lasiocarpa. Phylica have very, very small flowers on them, but they're clustered into little heads and they're often covered with a white furry wool. So the actual individual flower is in there, a single one open there and there, but most of the ones on the head are often closed at the same time, so you get these tight clusters of flowers. Lasiocarpa means woolly fruit, and here you can see one of the seed heads, hard little nut, covered with a very white, fine, felty fur to it. It's a member of a Rhamnaceae family, and Phylica is the only genus that we really get here. There is another genus called Trichocephalus that actually used to be within Phylica. So thank you for joining me for this short walk through the Fynbos and looking at some of the beautiful plants we have around. I hope the lockdown won't go on too long, but hopefully I can do this again at some point and give you an experience of getting out into these beautiful mountains and the Fynbos here. Thanks for watching.